guys, my name is Attorney Walter Rudolph III. I'm with Disability Resolution PA. I wanted to do a quick perspective series to kind of get you guys thinking a little bit more along the lines of what's the highest the sky can go, what's the lowest the hole can be. And I wanted to do this because here's the problem. I'll see some comments from people that just have no idea how low it gets and how high it gets. They don't understand because they've always lived in the bubble. Or, you know, the classic thing that we used to say, now people get offended by, is like they lived in the burbs, the suburbs. You know, now suburbs people are so upset about that in their little HOAs. But here's the thing. I need you to understand this. And now I'm going to have all these people hating on me because I said HOAs are terrible. HOAs are absolutely terrible. You don't own your home. They own your home because they are a form of government on top of the government you already have. But here's the thing. I want to start with this perspective so that you guys understand kind of what's going on. There is somebody who's broke. This is number one, and then we'll go through all five in another video because I have to keep these videos short because I'm in New Jersey and I don't have internet like I normally do. There's broke, and then there's you don't even have a tarp to use outside. Sleeping spiders. Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. You're broke. You can't afford a bill coming up, or you just barely covered things, or every month you don't have enough, right? That is a very different situation than a lot of claimants I have, which is they are literally homeless without a tarp. Now, let me explain to you the things that are important to this individual so that it gives you perspective on your situation. Not that your situation isn't bad. It is extremely bad. And I've been fighting to push the identity of increasing SSI, SSDI, and retirement benefits. And we're going to do videos on literally how a nonprofit can be formed by you guys, not me, by you guys. I'll help you out with it. I'll help you show you what to do. I'll help you build a website, but formed by you guys. Pick your own leader, pick your own whatever, so that you can create a system that takes all those votes and makes the politicians afraid. The way a homeless person works when it comes to wooded area or outside, and they basically have an area that they can go into to set up a camp. Some people don't even have that. They have to sleep on the sidewalk. But usually with sidewalks, it's a little bit better than having to go literally into the woods to escape the police interacting with you, because the bottom line is you have some privacy and you're not going to get attacked, especially for women who are usually a rape risk when they're on the street and people know that they can drag them to a spot where they won't be seen. So if they can get out of that, they can get away from people, get into the woods somewhere, they usually tend to be a little bit safer. Of course, somebody could find them, but that's always another thing. The way it works is the very, very base of not having things, of being truly broke. You have a tarp. A tarp is your number one thing other than your clothing as basically a form of survival. That tarp, when you first start, goes on the ground, and basically you sleep on top of that. Then you get a tent, and you put the tarp above you, right? You string it between the trees, and you put the tent on the bottom. Then you get basically a cot, something to sleep on that's above the ground. You put that in the tent, and then basically you have a tarp keeping the rain off of you for the most part. There'll be holes in it, of course. And then the rest of the water goes onto the tent, and it goes off to the side, and then basically you are on a cot, which allows you to stay above any water that comes through the bottom of the tent. Then after that, you start to work on your basic storage amenities. Okay, do I get a bigger tent? Can I, set up something so I can cook food in the forest, stuff like that. This is the structured approach of somebody who is truly broke. And there's another thing too that I didn't point out, which is that if somebody is living on the side of town where it's like they're living on the concrete, they're living on, the street, usually hope teams, usually nonprofits will grab them and put them into some sort of housing if they choose, if they want to. Some people choose quite literally to separate themselves from society because that's just what they want. However, very rarely, I would say 1 out of 50 people choose that over, at some point after multiple tries, multiple attempts, being pulled into basically some sort of housing program where they can have a bed, they can have a TV, they can have a microwave, etc. So super duper broke is basically the fundamentals of having to live outside and create basically a little, domicile outside, versus the identity of each month I have less and I need more. These two things have different fixes, but I just want you to understand that even though this is very close to the bottom of the hole, there's another level there That's way even lower than that. And then, of course, you have the other perspective of somebody, like Bill Gates or, Bezos, who have billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, where literally they could give everybody, $1 million and still be fine. The point here is this. I don't know if I'd have to do the math on that and actually think about it. No, that wouldn't work out. But the bottom line is, well, no, it wouldn't work out. I mean, maybe for like a state, not the federal, not the whole country. It's definitely not the entire world. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, but the point is this. They have so much money that taxes don't really affect them, but they have the best people to go ahead and manipulate how they do their income to go ahead and help them make sure that they don't have gains. They just worry about at night when something's going to go wrong, when a federal agency might find something that's bad with them, or when something might happen to one of their family members that puts them in a negative light, and then it'll be hard for them to do business deals. That's what they worry about. The people who worry about the day in and day out of, I don't have enough money, right? That's more of like what am I going to do with the little resources that I have? Like if you're going on an adventure, you'd be like, okay, I have this resource, this resource, this resource, this resource. How do I protect them? How do I use them efficiently? That's what they're going through. And then you have the very bottom of the scale, which is, do I have a tarp? If I don't have a tarp, where can I sleep where the bugs are not going to get me? And it's just interesting to see this, one of these deals, because at the end of the day, we all know that, full-fledged socialism is a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea because we would have no innovations. We would have no new great breakthroughs in products because science would become part of socialism. And it's just a terrible idea. But this is why I keep promoting the idea that SSI benefits, SSDI benefits, disability benefits in general, these are not welfare-based socialism. These are people who truly can work at that full level required to be able to sustain a life in America. And before you get on me and say, no, think about this. Think about the history of humans in America. In the 1920s, a single male could provide for the entire family, right? That's how it was back then. You get to the 1950s, maybe a male could provide for the whole family. 60s, a male and a female are starting to work. 70s, a male and a female are working. 80s, a male and a female are working a lot of hours, very different lifestyle, everything's the bling, right? 90s, a male and a female are now starting to struggle. 2000s, a male and a female and kids are starting to work. 2010s, 2020s, the dollar is completely devalued. People are struggling to buy things at Walmart. I just, bought some basic items at Walmart that used to be, an item that used to be $1 is now $3.60. So the point here is this. Whatever we have going on in our government, I think the biggest thing that we need to worry about is essentially our economy. Because if the middle class doesn't have money to pay for the disabled, because the middle class can't see a growing economy that they can work in, then there's no money to pay for the disabled. Other than basically the rich paying the taxes, and the rich pay the most taxes out of anybody, right? But still, it's not enough. It's not enough to pay for all the pet projects and disability benefits. I mean, look, you could streamline America and make it work for Americans. But when you go to like how we are set up right now, where we're feeding money and resources to all these other countries, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So, and I understand that's how we protect our dollar. And as we protect our dollar in international affairs, that makes it the international trade currency. And we use that to strengthen basically our ability to spend. But is that still working? When we go to digital currency, how will that affect it? Okay, so if we just cut all the bull away, the BS, right? We all know the middle class is dying. It's disappearing. We all know that the quality of items that we used to buy, it's lots of crap now. In fact, I'm in this house, New Jersey, 2493 Belvedere Road. Everything in this house was built by Walter I and Walter II, my grandfather and my father. But this, right, giant beam behind me, that's not wood covered in stuff. That is a giant concrete arch. I mean, you could literally drop, something on this. You could drop an elephant on this roof, and the roof would be totally fine. Slate roof, rocks from this mountain are the walls of this house. Everything was built to last back in the day. Now nothing's built to last. You go to any HOA, you better paint that thing every couple of years because whatever's behind that paint is junk. You know, and now they're coming out with more synthetic this and synthetic that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've never seen anything synthetic outlast stone. I just haven't. I've never seen anything synthetic outlast stone. I've never seen anything synthetic outlast properly done concrete. I just haven't. They fade, they start to erode, they start to crack. I mean, especially in Florida and in cold areas like Alaska. I've just never seen anything compete with those. Anyways, guys, I hope you're well. I just wanted to do that. That's a video about basically perspective. Attorney Walter on. I'll catch you a little bit later. We'll go from there. Thanks so much. Remember, 8 to 10, I go live every Thursday. If you have questions, call me about those questions then. If you're already receiving benefits, please don't call the law firm during the 9 to 5. Call during the live session Thursdays, 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. I'll catch you later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.